Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to those of you who have visited with me before, and welcome to those of you who have not been here before. This is Mike. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me get all my stuff here. This is Mike at Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Correction here in, I was going to say sunny Sharpsburg, Georgia, but not too sunny today. It's hot and, well, not real hot, but it's very humid today. And welcome back. This is the last installment, I hope, of this reboot on this 66 Volkswagen. Hey, somebody's watching. Alrighty then. Oh boy. Oh, that's Miss Angela. Looks like up there in the corner. Alrighty then, baby. How you doing there, sweetie? Love my Angela. Oh my goodness. Some of you may remember who have been, hey Miss Angela, who have been with me before. Last year we did this car. Almost a year ago today, I think it was, somewhere in that vicinity. We heavily wet sanded it, compounded it, polished it, all that kind of stuff, and ended up putting a ceramic coating on it with a good top coat sealant. And my customer basically shoved it off to the side outdoors and let it go downhill from there, and it almost reverted back to the condition it was in due to that. Oh boy. So this year he brought it back and he wanted to go to the top level, the top tier level of detailing and paint enhancement that you can do without taking the car into the paint booth, which would have cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And this is the finished product here, and I just wanted to run back over with you what we did. We compounded, strip washed it, of course, deconned it, clay barred it, all that stuff, stripped the wheels and tires. I think Miss Angela helped me with that. She's helped me with a lot of this car. Oh boy, oh boy. And after that I did some light wet sanding in some spots to level down rust spots, because there's some places where this paint has been knocked off all the way down to the metal, and you can see that was a rusty spot, but you can see the shine in it now. That's because it's been leveled, wet sanded, and filled with the Optimum Clear Coat Restorer, which is essentially a wipe on self-leveling clear coat, as have all the spots similar to that. Say, for example, that one there. If you've got a struggling or severely failing paint job, Optimum Clear Coat Restore might be a solution for you if you don't want to spend thousands of dollars. But and I showed you guys in a previous video the can that the Optimum Coat Restorer came in. At this point, some of this vehicle has 4 coats on it. The problem with that is you put a coat on, you have to wait 48 hours for it to cure. And then you have to rough it back up and put the next coat on. Then you have to wait another 48, so forth and so on. So when I got around to compounding this vehicle when I was first starting, basically I was not compounding heavily like you might normally would on a vehicle. Because this paint is very, very old. It's a very bad, cheap paint job, cheap paint. I had a paint guy come by and look at it, and he said a lot of this is because there was Bondo on lots of parts of this vehicle, and the Bondo has cracked and failed, and they just sprayed right over it without doing it properly. For example, this cracking right here, he said that's from Bondo. I'm not sure about that, but if he says so, I'll take his word for it, because I am not a painting guy. But roughed it all up, put the first coat on. After I finished with all the Optimum Clear Coat, which took a while, I'll show you some of the other products that I use from DPC. Let me see if y'all can read that. From Dallas Paint Correction. This is a titanium coating, a 6-year in longevity coating that goes on the painted surfaces. Blah, blah, blah. I also put it on the metal. You could put it on metal. And this is a TS2, he calls it, which is a titanium glass coating, which was put on all the glass. Will last up to 2 years. Really, really good for improving your optical clarity, making the glass easier to clean. It has some hydrophobic capabilities, which means it repels water. Yeah, so he got all that. We got, then after all that was done, everything was done, blah, 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 paint prepped the whole vehicle again. And I put this TK6 Kingsguard top coat on top of the titanium coating. This stuff is specifically designed to go over the top of the titanium coating to further protect your coating and your paint. So whatever damage this paint has, and it has a lot, it will be a very long time before it gets any worse if this paint is maintained properly. And I will have written instructions for this customer for when he comes to pick this vehicle up. And in fact, he had me order him some quality, see, look how thick that towel is, some quality towels. This is what I call an application towel that you use for this, and then this is for the final buff. Very plush, very, very soft. If you notice, there's no edging, no edges, nothing there, no tags, no nothing there to scratch the paint. Not saying that you might scratch it anyway. A lot of people use the same type of towel for application and buffing off. It just depends on your circumstances. These are both also from Dallas Paint Correction. He had me order him all this stuff that he needs to maintain this vehicle properly. A nice maintenance soap, rinseless wash. He had me order him some of this, which will do a great job of maintaining and protecting his titanium coating and the Optimum Clear Coat. So he'll be in good shape. And it's also, you can also use this over the top of the titanium coating on the glass as well to help prolong the longevity of it. So there. Oh boy, that's a mouthful, wasn't it? I don't know if any of you remember the previous photographs and videos of how there were white milky spots all over this fender, other places on the car, all down the hood, all the streaking. All that's been pretty much corrected. That Optimum Clear Coat does a pretty good job of filling in those kinds of things. Yeah. Every metal piece on here, if you remember, these aluminum trims had turned almost that milky white. Hey, Miss Christy. Hey, Angela, my oldest daughter Christy's on here. Can you believe it? So that was all wet sanded down with several different grits, and it was compounded, and then what I call a final polish, and they were also coated with the Optimum Clear Coat Restorer. These I did not remove from the vehicle for reasons we've discussed in a previous video. A lot of the trim was, including this center hood piece, which was in terrible, terrible, terrible shape. That emblem was removed. These were removed. The headlights were removed. These are glass, folks. These are glass headlights. How long has it been since you've seen that? These rims were polished. The glass was cleaned and polished and coated with that titanium glass coating, and then topped with a sealer. The bumpers were all polished and sealed and treated. This handle was taken off. Everything that could be taken off was taken off. Some of you remember the other video, these rear view mirrors were taken off. The whole process followed again. I would love to be able to take these door handles off. It just wasn't feasible. These tail lights were taken off. The rear bumper. This license plate was taken off the vehicle. I even took the license plate bracket, which is under there. You cannot see it. I took it off, repainted it for him, and put it back on. That was taken off. Some of you remember the previous video. That aluminum grill was removed, sanded, polished, all that stuff, and coated with the clear coat, and then the top coat protectant as well. A lot of work. These tailpipe exhaust pipes were done. You can see, some of you may remember, this fender was in awful shape. A lot of it was in awful shape. There you go, reviewing some of that trim. These vent shades were polished and coated. Remember how bad that roof was? Shines like a brand new penny now, folks. I even polished the antenna. Look at that, look at that. That looks pretty good. Put the Optimum tire coat protectant coating, as I call it, on the tires. The wheels and these little hubcaps were also coated and protected. Oh boy, what a long road this was. I had removed these windshield wiper arms from the vehicle, polished them up, coated them, even took these bolts, nuts, whatever you call them, off, even polished those. Wow. I'm crazy. I know that. You're out of control, Mike. You're out of control sometimes. I get that way when I'm working on these cars. I get that way. But look, I even replaced his license plate fasteners because the old ones were just too rusty to suit me. So I put brand new ones on there. All the original stuff I put in a bag in case he wants them, and put into the interior of the car. Yes, sir, buddy. You never know. You never know. I even cleaned out these little areas here and went heavy with the Optimum Clear Coat Restore there, because those are very susceptible to damage. Oh boy. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Give me a like. Give me a thumbs up, or give me a thumbs down. I don't really care. You know, if you got a question, feel free to ask me. Shoot me a PM if you'd rather do it that way. And Miss Christie, if you want one of my refrigerator magnets, it's a reproduction of the business card. Shoot me a PM or something with your address, and I'll happy to drop one in the mail to you. Mails went out to somebody in North Carolina the other day that wanted one. I'll tell you what. And if you're on YouTube, all that stuff, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. If you subscribe, you'll be notified whenever I do a video of any future projects, so that you can drop in and see if it has any interest to you. And I try sometimes to give tips on how to do some of this stuff, what I use, how I use it, the procedures, the equipment that I use. Not saying it's the only way, not saying it's the best way. It's just my way of doing it after much experimentation. I don't know if y'all remember, I even redid these rubber / plastic trim pieces around, for example, the windshield, the windows, all that, polished up, that as best I could. Almost impossible to get them off. Yes, sir, buddy. Treated all those rubber and plastic gaskets to provide maybe a little more longevity for my customer on this car. Yeah, I think it looks nice. I mean, I know it's down to the metal there, but he doesn't seem to care about that. So, remember that rust spot up under the headlight there? I think that's from where water would get into the headlight and it would rust a little bit in there and then drip down over time and just sit there and cause that to rust. I really don't know. That's just my theory. This is obviously from an impact of something, I think, of which this car has had numerous ones. But, you know, for a 1966 vehicle with a terrible, really cheap, really bad paint job, I think this car looks pretty darn good now. About a month's worth of work, I think, isn't it, Miss Angela? About a month. And I even, you know, these running boards, somebody had painted them with, I'm not sure what. It looked like truck bed liner to me. I don't know what the hell it was. But they had absorbed crap over a period of time. And they were chalky white and nasty looking. I even painted those for him. Didn't take me long. It was just something I felt like I needed to do. They turned out okay. I think about as good as they're gonna turn out, trying to paint over whatever that was they were painted with initially. At least they're not all grubby looking now. Boy, oh boy. Oh, look at the one on the driver's side. Yep, see there? See there? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Looks much better, doesn't it, Miss Angela? Hey, look at that shine, folks. Woo-wee, woo-wee. I'm telling you. And this glass, holy cow, that's absolutely phenomenal. That TS2 is really good stuff. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here, finish doing the paperwork on this thing, and call the customer. I can't squat down low enough for you to see me, Miss Angela. But that's okay. That's okay. All right, folks. I do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for dropping by and watching this video. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Watch out for the weather. It could get a little nasty in certain places. Y'all be careful. Bye-bye now.